Okay, thank you very much, Hanar. I realize that we are only limited to 15 minutes, so let's get started. We're here today to share a number of resources that we are in the process of and going to start developing to help English language teachers become more research ready and to help them in their research journals. In fact, we've got a number of resources that we're going to do. This will be a 2-year project, for example, and we will be telling you a little bit about the development of those resources. So let's look at the goals of our research project, and there are 3 of them. First of all, we want to investigate what faculty who we define as research ready in terms of general studies, arts and humanities programs, what they know and understand about the research process. So research literacy, in other words. We also want to investigate what types of resources that these same teachers need to better facilitate their research engagement, as well as what types of skills they must acquire or they need to actually move them forward in the research process. So let me tell you a little bit about the resources that we have planned. And we hope that as we describe these resources, that you will be interested perhaps in working with us on some of them. The first resource is a diagnostic assessment. In fact, we'd like to develop a test. How research literate are you, or how much do you know about research? That will, of course, that can be used to gauge a teacher's research readiness or research literacy. We also want to develop a pamphlet or a brochure, an online one and print-based, about the 10 or 15 characteristics of a research literate teacher. We also have planned a series of PowerPoint presentations, screencasts, and/or videos on research-related content that we can use in professional development and in training. One resource that we've already been working on and have already developed, and some of you might have participated in it, was a glossary called the A to Z of Research Literacy. And we showcased this resource at the last ALLT conference. And this is where I believe 260 plus teachers from around the world contributed a definition to this freely, openly accessible glossary on research terms. Yet another is a manual on how to do research and an edited volume featuring research-based studies conducted in the UAE. And this is almost ready. It's going to be submitted to the publisher in just a few days. Let's take a look at even more resources. When we're back to being on campus full-time, we hope to have a research corner in our new innovation space that will be a meeting place for teachers and students alike who are interested in research. We want to have an online open source training course that people can take on research literacy, a website featuring resources, blogs, other types of multimedia. And at the end of this grant period, we hope to have a 2-day conference on teacher research engagement to be held most probably online, but to be hosted by the higher colleges of technology. Now I'd like to turn over to Dr. Lana Hiasat, who's going to take us through some of the resources that we've already developed as a research team. Lana?
Thank you, Christine. So I'd like to share with you some of the online resources that we've developed. As mentioned, one of the resources that we have is a glossary, an A to Z of research literacy, a glossary that is available online and that teachers can use. The second resource is an online Jeopardy game, which you can access through the link in here, and we can provide it later on as well. It is taking the same idea of the traditional Jeopardy game, but in here it is done online, and the categories of the Jeopardy game, the general principles, types of research, data collection, sampling, and data analysis, are questions based on the glossary. So educators and graduate students who would like to increase their research literacy, they can play this game in teams of as many teams as the number is, and they can refer to the glossary for the questions and the answers. There is also a website that has all the resources in there. You can find the glossary as well. And this is the website where we're going to be adding the latest resources also in there. The activity book that we will be publishing soon has 10 different topics. And if you'd like to participate in sharing an activity book for teachers, educators who would like to increase their research literacy, or graduate students, the topics are, we have 10 topics so far, and those are listed in here. So if there's something you are interested in providing, you can email it to us. And we have a sample in here. We'll share this sample with you, how the activity book looks like. And this is the kind of a structure. These activities can be modified if a teacher wants to use in their research methods class that they teach. Another activity is mentioned in here, which Nadia will be sharing with us. Nadia?
So this is the activity which we used in our research methods class, and that is to encourage students to get interest in the current research. So students were encouraged to bring any articles they found interesting from Google Scholar and to discuss it in the class. The real struggle could be to sorry, Lana, can you go back? So it could be a struggle to get students to understand the actual research articles. So we offered them simple questions which they focus on, and they analyze article from the point of view of these questions. So that helps to engage students and to get them interested in different research topics and get them to choose topic which would be then a part of their project. So another way of getting accessible information to students is to give them screencasted videos and PowerPoint, where they don't only have the PowerPoint of the lecture, but they have a video of that, and that facilitates students' understanding. So this is the example of how different students from different departments collaborated on creating a product that is the glossary of research terms. So the students from different departments participated in creating this manual. So the applied media created the design, the business division were judging and trying to do the marketing, and CIS students were formatting the glossary document for the web. And that actually was very successful, and students got experience of practical hands-on work, which was actually resulted in practical product. So everybody found it very engaging and useful. So I think off to Lana.
Yeah, so this project of developing resources on research literacy for educators and graduate students started off with a 2-year project before the pandemic, where we had an interdisciplinary project with applied media. We collaborated with that department where the teacher assigned students a project to their marketing students to create a logo and a branding material. So this was embedded in the course, and it's a way of involving students in practical product, applying the knowledge that they are learning in a course. Some of the students that participated are listed in here. We had a competition and judges for the best logo, and this is the design that they have developed, which is a branding. That's something that you would pay somebody to prepare this branding materials, marketing, and it costs quite a lot of money, but students had the opportunity of a real life project to apply to what they've learned. This is the branding that they have created for us. We had also business department involved in by asking the marketing department, one of the faculty, to evaluate the logo and from a marketing perspective. And several other people, like we said, the formatting, the hyperlinking was done through the computer information technology department. Originally, this is how the glossary looked like, and then we changed the colors to match the logos, and it's all hyperlinked, available online for students to participate in. So for the last part, Christine is going to share with you some research opportunities for you to participate in.
Yes, as we move forward for this very exciting project, we'd like to share with you a call for proposals on any kind of participation. If you have, in the course of our presentation, thought about, that would be interesting to contribute to, please send us an email. Our emails are all on the last slide. We need people, of course, we'll be sending out invitations for you to participate in our preliminary study, which we think is going to be survey-based or focus groups or both. Then the next will be perhaps adding to the glossary document, which is, as Lana said, freely available on the website or can be obtained by sending us an email. We want to include more gamification, so any of you who want to use the glossary to create more Jeopardy games. We also have a Kahoot as well that goes along with the glossary. Our next big project will be the writing of an assessment, the development of the research assessment that we want to have on our website. So we'll be putting out a call for test items as well for that. Our activity books, Lana showcased the sample template for that. So if you have a good idea on how you teach a certain point in research or how you have learned a certain point. In fact, I see a great opportunity for the presenters before us to showcase things like OASIS and the IRIS system as well. That would fit perfectly within our research activity book. And then again, if you like making videos, either starring in them or creating them, we have yet to start on our video of teachers talking about their research, that project. I believe it's time for me to hand back to, for this year's plans, where are we going? Well, we plan to have a research event on September 2nd. I think the title is Getting Teachers Research Ready. We've got an ongoing call for proposals in the activity book, the assessment, as I mentioned. We need more articles in the research finding of the day, which are short articles that are about research that is relevant and interesting to students. So it's not necessarily academic or empirical research, it's research findings that will prove useful and relevant for our students or learners about research. The video project as well, which we'd like to launch at the end of this year. So I'm going to hand over back to you, Nadia, for a last plea on a call for participation. Okay, there you have it, our emails. We look forward to hearing from you and to working with you on this project if you have an interest.
Thank you, and I hope that we have stuck to our allowed time.
Thank you so much. Yes, you did exactly.
Wow.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ladies. Actually, you finished 1 minute earlier, so great. Thank you. So I'd like to thank all our presenters, Ms. Christine, Ms. Lana, and Ms. Nadia for their interesting presentation. And we actually have some questions, but we will address them after the last session, which is the next one. So please stay in the room and don't leave us so you can address those questions. Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you.
Thank you.